All that being said, let's get into this Jordan Peterson event because it was completely contrived by the mainstream media. So Jordan Peterson's going to be, well, he was, but if we dial back the clock a little bit, he's supposed to be speaking in Ottawa. I know he's so controversial, but talking about personal responsibility and personal development and eating right and, you know, bringing order out of chaos. Oh, so controversial that men and women are not identical creatures, that we do have a tendency towards liking certain things and being better at other things than the other person. Like, it's completely normal stuff that the left thinks is controversial. So he's going to be speaking at the arena where the Ottawa Senators play in Ottawa. And so here come the activists. But from the very beginning, I thought, well, maybe there's like 5 activists that keep getting quoted in these mainstream media articles to create a controversy that really doesn't exist. Because as I was reading through all these articles about how he's hateful and how he shouldn't be allowed to speak because some of the things he says don't comport with the NHL's diversity guidelines, I was like, you know, I just don't think normal people feel this way. I think if you are the kind of person who could sell out an NHL arena to like people to hear you talk, like to listen to an intellectual and author talk, I just don't think there are that many other people on the other side who want him censored. And as it turns out, we were right. Maybe let's go to the vid and then I will yeah, it was the Ottawa Coalition. Guess who those people are? Same old busybodies, by the way, who are like, oh no, honking, it's going to kill us. So let's go to the video from Lincoln, and then I'll shut up so Tamara can talk because I realize I'm talking too much.
No one's forcing anyone to buy a ticket to this event. No. If you don't like what he stands for, if you don't like what he says, why don't you just move on and go to some other event? Why is there this, you know, I guess, you know, ambition for cancel culture today?
It's hard to say. They don't have any arguments to rebut. So they do ad hominem attacks. You know, they call names, they protest. When you people interview the protesters, they don't even know why they're there.
You noticed that,
yeah, they don't even know why they're there. They don't rebut Dr. Peterson on his arguments because he's speaking the truth. I mean, and it's fact-based. So all they have is names and immature protesting and trying to create a ruckus that is unjustifiable.
Yeah, I love that even people in attendee there could see and have seen previously the reports where, you know, you tried to get feedback or insight from anyone left-leaning in their protests, and they come at you with squeaky dog toys or little bullhorns to try to detract from the fact that they cannot attest to or elaborate on or face questioning on the things that they're standing for. And so, yeah, this National Post article that came out about the Peterson event just shows that in the public square, people are interested, ready, and willing to purchase tickets for his event to hear and see him speak. And the people who are facilitating this notion of, you know, cancel culture, for lack of a better word, weren't even wound up enough to show up to protest anything. The mainstream media kept saying that there was going to be protests and they wanted the event canceled, and how dare Jordan Peterson share his unacceptable thoughts. And meanwhile, the event proceeded as normal without any interruption.
You know, I've got so many opinions about this because, first of all, they say there were 30 community-minded organizations who were just thought we can't allow this outrage to occur in our city. Not a single one of them could put in the effort to show up. If you, which leads me to believe that they are completely insincere about this stuff. Like, look at this. He sold out an NHL arena, or at least, you know,
a good portion.
A portion of it. But if you thought, like if I thought Hamas or something like that were marching in downtown Fort Saskatchewan, you bet your ass I would show up, right? Like if you think that this is a danger, this person makes your community less safe, they couldn't even put the effort in to show up. Excuse me, because it wasn't really. They are completely insincere about this. The most effort they put in to protesting Jordan Peterson was talking poorly about him to the media when they called looking for comment from people whom they knew would talk poorly about Jordan Peterson. Look at this. Like it, and it gets even worse because I saw today like a Liberal MP from Canada. She was like, we must speak out against this. Like he's there causing hate and division. I'm like, your boss wore blackface like so many times you lost count. I'm sorry. I'm not taking advice from you people about what amounts to hateful. By the way, she didn't show up to protest. And she sure as heck didn't go inside the building and actually listen to what Jordan Peterson had to say. They want you censored in advance for things they dream in their minds you might say, but they never listen to you. And we get a lot of that here at Rebel News. We get people saying, what? I heard what people were saying about you, but then I went to see what you were actually saying during the convoy, and what people were saying and what you were saying were completely different. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, this girl.
Oh yeah,
Jordan
the far
Peterson
right
is
misogynistic
rhetoric in my riding tonight. It was so bad that she couldn't even show up to have her voice known. Again, if you represent a riding and you think there's like something akin to a neo-Nazi wife beater holding a talk, you might want to show up if you can sincerely believe that, but you don't. So the most effort she put in was sending a tweet. Good job, lady.
From the safety of behind her screen. And the thing about freedom of speech and freedom of expression, which is the pillar that Peterson stands on and for, and that's the whole basis of all of his other thoughts, which apparently, according to the left, thoughts equal harm and crime and violence. Somehow, I don't know the mental gymnastics needed to reach that conclusion exactly, but I'm a huge proponent of free speech, obviously, and freedom of expression. And I think that if you bring your thoughts and your speech into the public square, and you have thoughts and speech that are not agreeable, then people are going to widely denounce you. And that's the beauty of free speech, is that they also have the freedom to denounce your thoughts and object them and bring their arguments forward and have that rigorous debate. And then it's through those discussions and that debate that the public in the public square and the public arena of thoughts decides what is truth and just and appropriate. And it's just going to show that the more that people like Peterson speak out and denounce all of this radical ideology infiltrating all of our institutions and levels of government, that the public is agreeable and in agreement with him, not these far left radical ideas that if you challenge them, you're supposed to be some sort of racist, misogynist who's inciting violence.
Yeah, it's weird. And it tips the hand of the people on the other side that they actually aren't confident in their ideas because they know that their ideas cannot stand up to scrutiny and debate. So instead of debate you, they want to shut you up. For example, if someone wants to talk to me about the benefits of meat, bring the noise. I'll talk about it all day long. If someone on the left, like climate alarmists, want to talk to me about how CO2 is bad for the environment, again, let's rumble. Let's talk all day long. I've got lots to say to rebut and debunk. But they don't want to have those conversations. They want you kicked off of YouTube. They want you censored on social media because they can't debate you. So why would they want other people to hear ideas that would refute their own? They'd rather just shut you up than win out in the free and liberal exchange of ideas.
And that's really dangerous, in my opinion, is creating and living in this bubbled echo chamber where you are never challenged. You never hear another point of view. I mean, how bland and boring would our world be if we just had certain thoughts allowed in the public square, in the arena of ideas? That is why it is so important to uphold that freedom. And even if you don't agree with what people say or think or feel, you have the opportunity to publicly and widely denounce them and bring your views and opinions forward. And then you literally let the public decide. And so, as we can see from this mostly sold out space, that the public is deciding. And the fact that there was no protesters present to be heard from, I think that it's pretty clear that Peterson is right on the target and to the left, obviously over target.
Well, it's funny because Jordan Peterson says you got to put the work in, right? Like before you change the world, clean your own bedroom. And hopefully these activists were at home cleaning their bedrooms because they are not willing to put in the effort to change the world, to stop dangerous Jordan Peterson.